Welcome back, YouTube. So, I'm making this video in conjunction with the last video. So, I'm foreseeing, and if you notice I have the same shirt on, it's because I'm shooting this all pretty close. And it's like, why did I choose the 350 Legend to go into my modern Winchester 94 build out of an AR? And this video is going to dive into why that was the caliber I chose versus other calibers. And I'm going to run through a bunch of the top popular calibers. So number one is like, you built an AR. The AR was built around 223.556. Why didn't you shoot 223.556? Simple reason. At least here in Missouri, that is not a super duper effective hunting round. Oh, man, I'll get the bad burps. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I have seen deer taken with a 5.56 and 223. I was not impressed. I did not think it was an ethical hunt. I thought, with all these other calibers around us, why would you choose something like that? Unless you were starving and this is all you had, you know, some type of survival scenario. It makes sense to me. Like, you know, like I have an AR, I have a bunch of 5.56 around, I'm going to go hunt with a 5.56. I thought it was very just anemic. Again, there would be tons of people, probably even from Missouri, who say they shot a deer with a 223, killed it right there. I'm just telling you my point. That was an ethical standpoint. So that was ethical. I literally looked at it and said, that's not ethical for me. Or else it would be the best candidate. It would be better than 350 Legend. If I felt like it had the lethality to game that 350 Legend did. That's just me. Now, we'll go to another one. 300 Blackout. That's going to be the next one. Everyone's going to say, 300 Blackout. Again, 300 Blackout. It mimics 7.62x39, but it mimics it weaker. It is weaker until you get to like subsonic. Go look up the ballistics. It is, everyone's going to say, well, 110 grain matches 123 grain 7.62x39. Well, in that statement itself, you're making the bullet lighter to match a heavier bullet. You're instantly losing. You're taking a bullet, taking weight off of it to match the velocity. You're losing. So 300 Blackout, not really suitable for that. Okay, again, a very anemic suppressor. If you're going to go subsonic, great round. It's going to dominate a lot of different rounds. Now, let's go to, so I'll bring up 7.62x39. I actually have 7.62x39. I like 7.62x39. I've taken deer with 7.62x39. The problem with 7.62x39 is the bolt carrier. Okay, this is a 5.56 bolt carrier group and bolt carrier, or your standard AR bolt carrier group. 350 Legend uses a standard bolt carrier group. 7.62x39 has a fatter back end. I don't have one handy right now. Well, maybe. Anyway, I don't. And it uses a thinner bolt. Well, that's not really that big of a deal, right? Well, after a bunch of rounds, this is kind of a gun you carry around with you. Hunting, it doesn't make a difference, but when you start going parts availability, you're going to find a lot more of these than you are going to find any other bolt carriers. Or bolts, sorry. Carrier's the same, bolt's different. So, there's that. And 350 Legend has superior ballistics to 7.62x39. And I can go into an anecdotal experience. I was hunting with a Ruger American in 7.62x39 A gun I really kind of wish I never sold. It's really a fun gun. But I was out deer hunting with it, and I shot one deer. I shot a doe. She dropped right in her tracks. All right, cool. This gun works great. Had another doe come in 50 yards, shot her. She took off running, found her. Great. Here's where my problem was. A, the bullet didn't exit. That's usually a sign you're getting to that borderline too weak cartridge. Again, I found her. She was within 50 yards. Second, she had no blood. She didn't bleed at all. For a second there, we really thought we weren't going to find this deer. Jordan, my buddy of mine, found a single drop of blood walking her trail. We found her within 5 minutes of that. It really wasn't that big of a deal, but it was the simple fact of maybe if this was a more wooded area, if I wanted to have been over an open field and seen her run off, where would she have ended up at? So that's something I was worried about. So that cartridge was pulled out. Even though I love 7.62 by 39. It is one of my favorite cartridges. But, and in a pinch it will work. And again, a lot of people, I have an uncle who's killed tons of deer with an SKS. But when you're doing a specific build, that's not appropriate. Okay, so let's go to the next one. The next round, I would think, which has identical ballistics, where this round would be effective, and actually has better ballistics farther, would be 6.5 Grendel. Okay, 6.5 Grendel. Why'd that one lose? All antidote. For those who don't know what antidote means, my experience. I had a 6.5 Grendel bolt action gun. I hunted with that for 2 years. I shot 5 deer with it. They all acted like they never were even hit with anything. Like I'd shoot them and they'd all kind of like bound off. I'd rack the bolt, shoot them again. I found every single one of them, but they all acted like they weren't even hit, and some of them left no blood trail. There was an exit hole, but there was no blood trail. And I really thought, trust me guys, I put money in the 6.5 Grendel. 6.5 Grendel was the round I really wanted to be my next hunting round. Just the next overall awesome round, because Wolf makes it. So you have all this cheap Russian ammo. And it would make so much sense, but it just did not pan out the same. So that's where I decided to go with 350 Legend. What's the biggest difference? Bigger bullet, traveling slower, versus small bullet relying on speed. And again, I killed deer with 6.5 Grendel, but it was kind of on the anemic side versus the powerful side. So let's go down the list of 6.8 SPC. I never shot, never did it, had no real interest in. At this point, it's kind of in its own like niche category. 224 Valkyrie, again, it kind of falls in the same category as 6.5 Grendel, except more. Small bullet relying on speed to do its damage. With hunting, I have found bigger bullets, traveling slower, make animals react better and die quicker. So 224 Valkyrie really not. Also 224 Valkyrie really relies on a long barrel, and I'm doing a short barrel, like not a short barrel rifle build, but like a 16-inch barrel rifle build where 224 Valkyrie will need a 20, 22, 24-inch barrel to really get that speed it wants out of it. And when you throw a 10-inch suppressor on the end of it, or silencer, 10-inch silencer on the end of it, it doesn't really fit the build. And in Missouri, we don't shoot very far, and I really need a small maneuverable gun. And longer barrels are heavier. So, let's go to another round. What was the round? Oh, 6mm arc. Okay, that was the new kid on the block. Like, I was building this, and 6mm arc just kind of came on the scene. It brought a lot of promise. 6mm arc. 108 grain bullet traveling up into the upper 26, 27, 28, 100 feet per second. Mimicking like they always say mimic, it's a 243, but 243 is always at like 3,000 feet per second. Is it 3,000? Anyway, it's 243 is faster. They always say, oh, it mimics that. It's not. It's not. Nowhere close. It's like 200 feet per second slower, and they say it mimics it. So, I looked at that round. It needs a 20 to 24 inch barrel to really get the velocity out of it, where 350 Legend really doesn't care. Like, go look ballistic by the inch. They cut down to like a 12-inch barrel, and then it was like exactly at 7.62 by 39 ballistics. At 16, it was a little hair higher. At 20, it really didn't make any difference. Like, it lost 200 feet per second from a 26-inch barrel to a 12-inch barrel. Like, very little difference. So, there's that. And again, when you look up the stats of this round and multiple testing, Hootie Hoo shot both of them side by side through a chronograph with almost identical results. Actually, it was different. The AR had a 16-inch barrel, and the Winchester 94 had a 20-inch barrel. So, actually, you can make an argument that when you cut the barrels down, they're probably identical. So, that's why we went with the 350 Legend. Also, when you start talking, so we get the same bolt carrier. We get ballistics comparable to a 30-30. We get what I call a better hunting tool, bigger, slower bullet. And we get 20 round mags, which that's probably the biggest downside. You gotta have a specific mag where these others could fit in my Unimags. So, less specific tooling, less specific stuff, and then of course it's legal in more states. So that's where 350 Legend pulled ahead in this testing and build. That's why that was the round. Again, 6.5 Grendel is probably the closest one I really wanted to be it, but it just wasn't going to make it. 6mm arc, I'm not done enough testing. But what is that going to do out of a 16-inch barrel? Everyone always tests it out of a 24-inch barrel. So that one was kind of falling on its face. Again, 6mm arc was the one that was like going to hold on. But in my real world testing, it just wasn't enough. And I know someone's going to chime in. Maybe you guys down in Texas. I know there was one guy that said he was from Texas in my subscriber channel. So maybe you can chime in how great your 6.5 Grendel works down in Texas, and that's awesome. Up here in Missouri, I just didn't feel like it was worth it, so my choice. Maybe someone wants to build a lightweight 6.5 Grendel and call it the modern Winchester 94. I'd love to see a picture of it. Chime in. I want to hear it. So, or if you have another caliber, you were like, dude, I am slaying deer left and right. Put that down in the comments. I want to hear this. If you want to hear how this project's going to move forward, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We are moving up in the world, and I'm excited to see it. If you like this video, hit that like button. Heck, if you don't like the video, hit the dislike button. If you want to leave a comment for me, I try to get back to all the comments. Leave a comment down below. And when you're hunting, especially with a bow, remember to always, even with your bullets, keep it heavy. See you in the next video, YouTube.